Hi, Sandra here from Creating Spain. Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to do a candle design card, and I decided that if I was going to design one, I might as well design it so that I could get several variants from it. So I designed this piece, which hopefully you can see. I have drawn the candles with the silver bullet with the pen in the holder, and I put an offset on the candles to create the outside cut line. So this is the basis for all the cards. Now the first one, which is probably the simplest, is this one here. I cut out two lots of that. One had the drawing on, one didn't. Although it doesn't make much difference. I mean, if you want the drawing on underneath, you can have it, but you don't need it. And this one has been coloured in with Inktense pencils. And then I added a sentiment. Now the sentiment is slightly different in that I put it on black card, cut it straight with tails on, but I folded the tails behind so you get some extra dimension there. Okay, so that creates a nice little dimension on the front, and I've added some little silver stars. I mounted it with the back piece slightly offset, but I forgot. I wanted to put a grey shadow in on there, and I forgot to put the shadow in till I'd stuck it down, and so there's a bit of an error there where I've touched the front of the card with the shadow. But then it's just mounted on square card. So that's the first one, that's the easiest. This one I modified the base file so that the top of it had room for a sentiment. And this one I coloured in with watercolour, standard watercolour palette, and I've just added a little bit of bling to make it shine. Now the other two are slightly different. This one again is created with two panels, but the back panel I covered with different colours of foil paper. And then I added the happy birthday on a white piece of card with a silver pen. Now I do recommend that if you're into card making, practice your handwriting skills. It does come in handy for doing sentiments from time to time. Now this one is mounted on a grey card. It's actually a branded card, and I can tell you which one it is. It is this pack of card by Papermania, premium textured cardstock. Okay, I'm not sponsored for this. That happened to be a gift, and it's a card I don't use very often because I know it's quite pricey, and I like to use it where I know it's going to show. So that's that one. So the top layer here is actually totally cut. So instead of putting the pen in for these inside pieces, you just use the blade for the entire lot. So that's that one. And the last one was the most complicated. These glitter card strips here are actually inlaid into the top layer. I know it doesn't look like an inlay because the glitter card is slightly thicker than the card that it's inlaid to, but believe me, it was inlaid. And then I tied a bow around it. I also offset it slightly more, and I made sure I did this before I stuck it together, with the grey marker causing the shadow behind. So I think that one's really rather pretty. Now some people will ask how you do the bow, and for me it is quite simple. What I do is I take my ribbon, and I take a strip of ribbon that is wide enough to go, or long enough I should say, to go round the card and tuck into the back, and I stick it down to my table, and then I take another piece of ribbon and I tie the bow around it, and that way you get a nice easy bow to tie. Much better than struggling for ages trying to get it right the other way. Okay, now the other thing that I will mention is that with this card, it is actually quite difficult if you put your glitter card onto a mat and then cut it and try and peel it off. Sometimes you don't get it quite right, sometimes you get bits flying off or whatever. And what I did was I actually put the glitter card, I stuck it with tempera adhesive onto a piece of acetate, and then I cut it out on the acetate. That meant I could remove the acetate with all the bits that I needed off of my mat and put it on my desk, and then work from that. And they would stay in place but peel off very easily off of the slightly tacky acetate. So that's the way I did it. Okay, I hope you like these cards, and I will give you a link to the file because I'm feeling generous today. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.